Your market does not know you exist. It's a fact. And it's a serious point because it really, really matters. Because you and I, we think about our businesses, 24/7? The market doesn't. And if they did know you existed, per se, what percentage do you think you're connecting with on a regular basis? See, most businesses attempt to get in front of a prospect or try and achieve that one prospect at a time with BDRs, SDRs, telesales, one call, one click, one ad. But the bottom line is you selected the product. You selected your market. No one else did. You know, it's like you and I, we chose this life. Yeah, the market didn't choose us, didn't choose you. So the bottom line is we're kind of setting the scene here. And so it's like time to go back on the attack. And so the question is, how much of your total addressable market do you actually reach? And the critical problem for most businesses is that we simply can't weather the storm, any storm. Our exposure and our effort happens one company at a time, one prospect at a time, one call at a time, one pay-per-click, one advert at a time. And it's absolute madness. I mean, when you think of all the technology we've got right at our fingertips. And here's the best way to put it, really. You're the entrepreneur, not the marketing department. And you've got to think about that. And the fact that the same resources and the same mechanisms keep getting used year after year points to zero creativity, zero effort, and people just going through the motions month in, month out. That's it. And this is the point where I had to stop and realise, oh crap, what have we been doing? Because there's a structural failure in this B2B model we've got. But the first thing is you've got to be aware that it's not all doom and gloom, because everything can change and quite spectacularly. But before that, you've got to understand not just understand, but also compare the mechanisms and the mechanics and the ratios of new business development. And I'm not talking about the stats that you've been given for the past decade. Because as CEOs, we have got to challenge it. Yeah? It just makes sense. You have to know it for yourself. And then once you do know what's going on, exactly what's happening, you go, well, what if? But I'm not going to talk about like blue sky thinking or 50,000 foot helicopter view. I'm saying, imagine if your business really did start to fly. I know there's a bit of a pun there, but what if it really did kick off? And if you do challenge everything, the outcome is going to be a thriving and secure company, achieving greater success than you've ever experienced before. Or you can say, no, it's all valid. No, we want to stay as we are. Everyone's comfortable with the status quo. You know, my team are happy for me to carry the can. And if, like the 85,000 businesses that went bust in the past 12 months, you lose everything, your entire team will walk away into new jobs, and you probably won't. I mean, if you know, I know it's a bit intense, yeah. But if we look at this, you know, you look at the technology curve. That's what keeps happening in terms of technology. Yeah. And you might think, well, what Nigel's going to start going into is some kind of technology adoption and what have you. Nope. Yeah, the whole curve is all about early adopters, late majority, all that kind of thing. It's not about that. And it's not about buying the same technology that's been around or just dressed up differently. This is about a fundamental change, how we as B2Bs approach and generate new business to properly thrive, not just survive. Yeah, and that's what the problem is. Where everyone's in survival mode, and so the system or systems that we were sold, yeah, it's quite easy to see how us B2Bs have been conditioned. This is where it starts getting interesting, I think, because we have to think how we as B2Bs present ourselves to our markets. If we look back over the past few decades, it's possible to chart exactly what we have been told or how we've been told to sell. Not just market our business, but all of it. I mean, every step of the way, B2Bs have been led, misled, cajoled, intimidated, and virtually ridiculed into buying into the whole MarTech machine, this whole ecosystem. A while ago, I've got another slide up here. Let me just go into... did I put it in here? I think I did. The Hall of Fame, yeah? 30,000 MarTech platforms. A while ago, there was this study done. There were 30-odd thousand MarTech platforms or software platforms around, yeah? In terms of SaaS. And of those 30,000, half of them were MarTech. Wonder why that is. And that was before the whole AI explosion. And so when you look at this, if you look on top of that kind of, let's go back to there. On top of all that, if you look at, there are universities, university degrees, diplomas, YouTube channels, podcasts, and websites by the million, and every one of them, whether they're saying exactly the same thing or not, no one asks why. The fact that they are saying the same thing all the time. Whether you watched it or not, Mad Men, okay, which stood for marketing, advertising and design. So consumer marketing, it's got its own TV series, films like with Mel Gibson and Holly Hunter, you know, What Women Want. Every show, every series, every podcast about marketing reinforces the imposed and expected narrative. And that's what you're expected to do. And people in the marketing software companies engage with and court the employees in the companies who are called CMOs, Chief Marketing Officers, and their respective marketing teams. And those marketers, in turn, communicate and advise CEOs who then agree to part with large sums of money to keep the marketing machine going. You know it's true. All under the assumption that they, as the marketers, are being told the truth, and that the strategies and tactics are all verifiable. Yeah, they can all be proven. But here's a $60,000 question: verifiable to whom? And this is kind of the latest research reveals that business marketing, pretty much every business marketing organisation, has got marketing automation. They've got the same software, different manufacturers, but ostensibly every business is the same. You have to think about that. So not just your competition, every B2B, same platforms, same kit, same approach, same strategy. So you've got to look at that kind of cookie cut infrastructure. You've got the same repeatable strategies, the same tactics, transferred from one company to the next, either by marketing personnel changing jobs or new businesses appointing CMOs at the time of startup. It doesn't really matter. I mean, either way, the strategies don't change. So you've got what? Eloqua, Pardot, Marketo, HubSpot. And yet we still hope to pull a rabbit out of the hat, make a big splash. At least beat the competition. I mean, you know, got to have some success somewhere. But just think, every business is set up identically from both a technological, strategic, and tactical perspective. So today's show title is like campaign thinking versus continuous infrastructure. Is going to be confusing to most sales-related people, But marketers will probably be the first to dismiss what we're saying because it challenges their entire existence. At the end of the day, you employ marketers. You employ these people to keep it going. All of it going. So it would be inconceivable to have something deliver a continuous infrastructure. I mean, people would be thinking, well, what does that even mean? I mean, we know what we'd like it to mean, like constant, like a money-making machine. But is it even possible? That's kind of the question you've got to ask. Is it possible? And the answer is a resounding yes. I'll come on to that in a minute. But the important message right now is simply for you to challenge the existing thinking and the existing status quo. You have to. Because in actual fact, there's something very wrong with B2B marketing. And the only people it's serving is the marketing industry and its advocates, who are your marketing teams, your employees, and the go-to-market teams who are just getting paid. But this is my opinion. But I think they're quietly destroying B2Bs, whether they know it or not.